Julie Keller. This is my wife, Sabra Katzweiss, and our son, Oscar. Sabra and I have been married for 4 years. Oscar was born last year. We've been trying for a year and a half to have a child, and we were absolutely thrilled when we found out that Sabra was pregnant with Oscar. We decided to go with an anonymous donor, so we purchased the sperm through a sperm bank in Seattle. We put it in our online shopping cart. We paid for it together out of our joint account. And so in order to make sure that I would be legally recognized as Oscar's parent, lawyers that we consulted suggested that I go through the second parent adoption process, which, as it turns out, as you already have been hearing, is quite extensive, costly, and invasive in Rhode Island. And so the first step was I had to wait 6 months to even begin this process, that period of time where my connection to my child is legally totally up in the air, right? It's not been established, it's not secure. So then we had to hire a lawyer. Our case was assigned to DCYF. I had to complete a medical exam, schedule an appointment with my physician, and my physician attested to the fact that I was in healthy shape physically, and then I had to do fingerprinting for an extensive criminal background check, a financial disclosure. I had to give all this information about any outstanding debts I had, the balances of all my accounts, my student loan balance I had to throw in there too, which I wasn't thrilled about. So we had 3 letters of recommendation that I had to seek out to find 3 people in my life who could attest to the fact that I'm a good parent. And then we had to I had to complete a 98-question assessment questionnaire answering all sorts of questions about my parenting philosophy, my religious background, what kind of neighborhood was I raised in, who taught me about sex, all kinds of different questions. And then, of course, the final component of this was a DCYF social worker coming to our home and then assessing my fitness as a parent, which was really, really scary for both of us to know that that this enormous decision is now in the hands of somebody who's in our home looking at us. It was really quite scary. In addition, the ad in the newspaper advertising looking for the supposed father of our child. I really do believe that these extensive adoption laws are in place in Rhode Island to protect children, but I think that especially for LGBTQ couples, it's very burdensome to go through this unnecessary process. It's a lot of money, it's a lot of time. For people like us who have the resources, the education to go through this process, that's one thing. Think about all those people who don't have that, all the barriers in place for those folks who are super vulnerable and can't muster the resources that we've been able to muster to get through this process. So I absolutely support these 2 parentage bills that are being considered today. And Sabra, if you want to add anything.
Yeah, just to reiterate what Julie said, it was really, the home visit was particularly hard for both of us, and it was really nerve-wracking and vulnerable to have someone come in to our house and assess, is it a safe place, and we just feel like we're both very educated people who make really careful parenting decisions, and it felt really icky to have someone questioning that. And the whole time we were going through this process, we were talking to our friends in Massachusetts, other same-sex female couples who were going through the second parent adoption there, and it was completely streamlined. The home visit was waived, the paperwork was easy enough that one of our friends filed it themselves without even hiring a lawyer. It just felt like a really different experience from here, and it feels very unfair, frankly. So we really hope that the laws can be changed here to streamline the process and make things more equitable for everybody.
And thank you, members of the Judiciary Committee and Chairman, for listening to us.
And thank you both. Your son is adorable.